Yo, I am Bongo Ideas, and welcome to Critique of the Week. We are asking ourselves that, the high spate of kidnapping and killings and murders and unexplained, missing people in Ghana, can we blame the influx of Nigerians for that? That is what we're trying to discuss right now, because if you look at the situation in Ghana right now, we can say relatively we are not safe. When I read the reports, when I listen to the news, and when we pay attention to what is really happening in the country, we can feel like the moment somebody gets missing, it means the person is going to end up being dead. In recent times, anytime somebody goes missing, by the time we realize the person is found dead somewhere, what is really happening? Can we blame the influx of Nigerians for that? Now, a bit of history. In 1969, Dr. Abusia, the president of Ghana at the time, actually enacted the Ghana Alliance Compliance Order and was able to deport about 3 million immigrants from Ghana, right? Including Nigerians, Togolese, Guineans, a lot of, West African, immigrants who were actually residents in Ghana at the time, because according to him, they weren't legally permitted to be in Ghana, right? So he actually deported them. So there was a retaliatory effect in 1983. In 1980, Nigeria discovered, oil. So a lot of West Afrikaners actually moved there because of the oil discovery. There was a lot of money in the economy. The economy was booming. The agege rush and all that, right? So a lot of Ghanaians actually went there, right? So by 1983, there was a huge number of, West Afrikaners in Nigeria. And about half of them were actually Ghanaians. Right, so in 1983, the president at the time, Shehu Sagari, actually deported about 1 million Ghanaians back to Ghana from Nigeria. Right, they deported about 2 million, but about half of them were actually Ghanaians, and they deported them back to Ghana. Right, so the 1969 deportation of Nigerians were actually retaliated in 1983. So we ask ourselves that there's a huge number of Nigerians in Ghana right now, as compared to the number of Ghanaians in Nigeria right now. If you should take Ghana, I can say that approximately we have about 5 million Nigerians in Ghana. In 2025, can Ghana also retaliate to the 1983 deportation by actually deporting a lot of Nigerians who are actually residents now in Ghana back to Nigeria? Now, globally, Nigeria has a very bad reputation. Nigeria has a very bad image because of some of the crimes committed by their people in other countries, right? We have countries in the world who have actually banned Nigeria from entering into their country. They don't issue visas to Nigerians. They don't want to have anything to do with Nigeria. The high incidence of internet fraud is one of the reasons why many countries in the world do not really want to accommodate Nigerians in their countries. The likes of Hashpop, who have made global news because of Yahoo, basically, because of taking money from people and doing romance scam and all that, right? So Nigeria has a very bad reputation in terms of internet fraud, romance scam, and anything related to, online manipulation and all that, right? Secondly, overstaying and illegal migration. A lot of Nigerians are known for overstaying in countries and illegally migrating to countries. There's a high chunk of migration from Africa, and the high chunk of that migration actually, comes from Nigeria. Nigerians like to travel a lot because of their economy, because of their population, because of the lack of resources. And the third reason is fake documents and visa racketeering. Nigerians are known globally for visa fraud and fake documents, right? Because they're in the haste and they are in a certain desperation to travel, they fake these documents and they do this visa racketeering, and when they are caught, they are, actually expelled. The fourth reason is criminal records and drug trafficking. Nigerians across the world are actually known for drug trafficking, even in Saudi Arabia and even in pro-Islamic countries where they have zero tolerance for drugs and all that. We could actually hear news of Nigerians actually invading those countries. Some of them are actually executed and all that, right? But Nigerians are still brave and they do that. So Nigerians have this reputation, and they also have terrorism concerns, right, across the world. So these are the reasons why across the world a lot of countries do not want to accommodate Nigeria. Not because all Nigerians are bad, not because all Nigerians are evil, not because all Nigerians are criminals, but because a high section of Nigerians, when they enter into other countries, have a very bad record when it comes to overstaying, visa racketeering, Yahoo, online scam, illegal migration, criminal records, drug trafficking and all that, kidnapping, selling of human parts and all that. So Nigerians are actually known across the world for that. It's not Ghanaians saying it. It's actually reports that is globally shared and globally, accepted by a lot of people across the world, right? So that is the other aspect of the reasons why Ghanaians will actually say that, the influx of Nigerians will actually be a concerning reason why we are experiencing high rate of kidnapping, murders, killings, people going missing for no reason. We can assume and we can actually imagine, based on global perception of Nigerians, that most of the crimes, most of the grievous crimes being committed by Ghanaians or non-Ghanaians in Ghana could actually be perpetrated by Nigerians. Now, there was an immigration officer who actually went missing a few days after he was found dead. According to the story, he was going for some money that he was being owed by a friend, and after he had collected the money, reportedly he went missing. Whole immigration officer, he went missing, and when he was found after some days, he was dead. He was murdered. He was stabbed. And part of his body has been bent. We don't really know who killed him. Even though the friend has been arrested and all that, but we don't really know what is happening. Now, there's another case study of a guy called Atom. The guy is actually known for this whole Jama thing. The guy actually went missing, and after a few days, he was found dead in a bush, abandoned, dumped. He was called like some goats, like the way lives are being taken with no sympathy, with no mercy. Bro, it can't be a Ghanaian culture. Ghanaians are not naturally conditioned to commit certain crimes. Ghanaians are merciful at heart. Some killings and some murders, when you look at it critically, you can just tell that this is not a Ghanaian killing. This is not a killing or a murder committed by a Ghanaian. You murder a person, you take some parts of, the vital organs, you decapitate the person, and you leave the body to just decompose. That is not a crime that can be committed by a Ghanaian. I'm not trying to be xenophobic. The average Nigerian, I'm not trying to stoke any kind of flames, but the average Nigerian is vile. They are so, atrocious in their words, in their statement. Ogun should kill you. Like, they are those kind of guys making it so explicit that they can end your life and all that. Amongst them, in social media commentary, they make it so obvious that if they find you and all that, they can kidnap you and they can end your life. It is so common. And even in Ghana here, whilst we are blaming the Nigerians, there are Nigerians who are actually blaming other Nigerians. The Yorubas are blaming the Ebos. That the Ebos are the ones who are known, historically for killings and murders and kidnappings and harvesting of human parts. So even among the Nigerians, they know that there are a section of Nigerians who are known for that, who have record for that. And now we have some who are actually posing as the king of Ebos in Ghana, right? So if Ebos are actually known, historically by Nigerians themselves as people who commit this kind of crimes, why should we have an Igbo kid in Ghana? Why should we have people actually parading themselves as the head of Ebos in Ghana, bro? Do you have a head of accounts in Nigeria? Do you have a head of Ebos in Nigeria? Do you have head of guns in Nigeria? Bro, Ghana has become so easy and so simple for people to actually come here and try to form kingdoms. That should not be happening. Because if even among Nigerians they are blaming Ebos for being the ones who commit these kind of crimes, what are you talking about? Why should we have any kind of tolerance for Ebos and Nigerians and people who we believe that they have record for committing certain crimes? Now, another case study is actually one guy who actually went missing recently. And he has also been found dead. Now, it's so obvious that anytime someone goes missing, you're not going to find a person. Anytime somebody goes missing, there's a high probability that the person will not be found. Why? Because the person will be killed. The person has been kidnapped. Previously, if somebody goes missing, it's because the person has missed a way, or the person, it's night time and the person was not able to get home and all that. But now if somebody gets missing, it means the person has been kidnapped, the person has been taken, the person has been killed or murdered. Bro, we can't accept that bullshit to be going on in Ghana. If our authorities cannot step in and make things work, then we need to tell them the truth. We need to fucking tell them the truth. Nigerians, nobody is against you. But the record you guys have globally in this situation, we can't excuse you guys. When we are blaming you for reasons. When you go to Ashoman Estate in Accra, there are so many Nigerians in that estate. But there's a high spate of crime in that estate. Killings, kidnappings, theft, robberies. Any community in Ghana where there are, high number of Nigerians, there's a high spate of crime. Go to Kaswa where we have a lot of Nigerians occupying sections of Kaswa and all that. High spate of crime. Nobody is saying that all Nigerians are bad, but the average Nigerian is a bloodthirsty motherfucker. So we are not against them, but bro, if these kidnappings go on and these murders go on and it's always Ghanaians being kidnapped and they are being killed, then we can blame Nigerians, we can blame foreigners. We can also actually blame our security apparatus. The IGP, what is really happening? The interior minister, are you guys, following this issue? The national security, are you guys paying attention to this? What are you guys doing to remedy the situation? What are you guys doing to actually make sure that Ghanaians are safe in Ghana? Can we go out and come in and be safe? Can we be assured that we can step out at night and come back and be safe? You the fucking bab. When it becomes necessary that we need to, actually deport Nigerians, we should do that. We should actually look for the bad Nigerians and deport them. If a Nigerian commits a crime in Ghana, they should be deported. They should be seriously deported and banned from coming to Ghana. And banned from coming to Ghana. The good ones should be allowed to stay in Ghana. The bad ones should be expelled. You the bad. Because some crimes are not Ghanaian-like. Some crimes are Nigerian-like. When you see the crime and you see how it has been orchestrated, you can just, accept the fact that this is coming from a Nigerian, then Nigerian is behind this. It's so obvious. You the bad. So you're not going to accept that. You're not fucking going to accept that. And for the Igbo king who has become so brazenly, bold and, granting interviews and all that, bro, shut the fuck up, bro. Shut the fuck up, bro. This is a sovereign country. You the bab. So you can't come and talk about any kingdom or whatsoever. If you know people in authority, that is fine. That is cool. But even for you, there's a high probability that you could actually be expelled to. And the question, you can be investigated. Your people are committing crimes. Don't think about, any kingdom at all. This is a sovereign country. And my Ghan people, the Ghan traditional council, bro, don't be selling lands to people because they have the money and they can afford it. Sell the lands to people because, they're ready to invest into their country. Do a background check. You don't just sell lands to people and just don't sell properties to people because they have the money and they can afford it. And you guys will be sleeping in kiosks and they'll be sleeping at the shore, bro. We don't feel... nobody has any, qualms against Nigerians. But bro, the kidnappings needs to stop. The murders needs to stop. People going missing for no reason needs to stop. You need to nip that in the bud. You guys come to Ghana and you enjoy the best economy. You enjoy the best security. There's electricity 247. Go to Nigeria, you guys enjoy 2 hours of electricity every day. You come to Ghana, you enjoy, the best of conditions, and you want to kill our people, you want to murder our people, you want to kidnap our people. Bro,